All right, so looks like we are live. Let me just get a quick sound check from everybody and then we'll get started. Cool, all right. Thank you, Isaac. How you doing? All right. So obviously, big story of the day, Carvana. So I had this level on here. I believe I talked about this on the last live stream. It was maybe the last week or two. I talked about this, and I said there's a level I want to short it at, but it's a lot higher. And we got there today. I did not intend this to be a day trade. This was actually supposed to be a swing trade. And so I had this Fib extension. It got to my 1618, which is at about 237, 238. Now, I used this on Moderna, Dick's Sporting Goods, the 1618. There's another one that it worked on too. I can't think off the top of my head, but that's where I was looking to short this. And it got there, and quickly I realized, okay, this is not a, it's not just a euphoric pop. This is a short squeeze. And so I, said, okay, well, I'll just add it to 2618, and that's what I did. Added again at 324, 325, I think, and then let's just look on the intraday here. So this was just going nuts. It was trading for about 10, 15 seconds at a time. Then they were halting it, and then it would trade for 10 seconds, then they would halt it. And I tried getting up short above 500 to add to my position, but it was like I said, literally every 10 seconds, 15 seconds, they would halt this thing, and it was hard to get an order filled. I did eventually get filled at about 460, 470, I think, and then took profits on most of it at 315, and then sold the rest around 360, just in case it popped back up. But look how they played with this on the way back down and up. They kind of popped it up, got people to buy in, then sold it right off. Tried to pop it again a couple of times and sold it right off. So they were toying with some people who were trying to chase this later. But nice 13.5% in just a couple hours. You can't beat that. Again, I did not expect it to do this, but the reason why I was able to feel confident and not be worried at all about what was happening is essentially what happened here today was a short squeeze, and we haven't found out which fund got blown up yet, but I'm sure it'll come out pretty soon. But somebody got eviscerated pretty badly. And simply all you have to do is look at it logically. Everybody else is using emotion and panic buying or panic selling here. And, I'm just starting with a small position and adding. And I know that this is because, let's face it, Avis didn't just become 200% more valuable overnight. This is just a short squeeze. So once whichever fund is done covering, the liquidity is going to dry up and there's going to be nobody left but sellers. And that's exactly what happened. So that's why, I had no problem. I was down at 45% at some point on this position, but, I knew that it was going to come right back in as soon as that liquidity dried up, and that's what happened. So congrats if you guys got in this. I know it was kind of quick. It was moving very fast. I didn't expect everybody to get it, but I absolutely could not resist. I had to take this. I was waiting for it to get to this 1618 for a while. It got there and I got filled. I put in an order at like 250 and the stock had jumped $8, and luckily TD actually gave me an execution at 258 for my first entry. And by the way, TD Ameritrade just restricted short selling on this name and on, I believe, DWAC, which just started running again. We can take a look here on the intraday. This had a ripper, sold off and then started ripping higher. I was actually waiting for this to get back down to this gap fill area, which I still think it can. I would love to get it in this gap fill area. But yeah, so this started running. I believe they restricted trading on that as well, and possibly Fun, and I think maybe GME too. So the meme stock started running today. GME running. BlackBerry got a nice little pop. This one, TIGR, was up yesterday, but actually, came off the lows today. I've been watching this one. AMC, had a nice little pop today. Bed Bath and Beyond. I mean, so the meme stocks were really running today, and it was all because of Avis, because of Car here. And let me just tell you, so we have the Fed tomorrow. Avis, yeah, whatever it's pronounced. I don't know how it's pronounced. But yeah, we have the Fed tomorrow, and this is what happened to the Dow transports today because of Avis or Avis, whatever you want to call it. And this is going to be really funny because Jay Powell is going to have to sit there and with a straight face say that they're not going to taper after this happens. I mean, how can you not taper after that? I mean, this is the Dow transports. This isn't some small cap company. This is, UPS, FedEx, American Airlines, CSX, Norfolk Southern. This does not happen. This is not normal. The last time I tweeted this out, the biggest single day gains on the Dow transports ever was 15%. And that came in 1930. So that was after the crash. Makes sense because if it's so oversold, it's going to bounce, as much, right? Well, when it's at all-time highs like this, it shouldn't be doing that. This ridiculous. I mean, the Spider's at all-time highs, the Dow's at all-time highs, the Nasdaq's at all-time highs, the Russell's at all-time highs, Tesla, the best stock in the whole universe is at all-time highs, right? The Dow transport should not have a 13% move in one day. Now, granted, it came way off the highs, but this market, I believe we're getting very close to melt-up mode, and we're getting close to blow-off mode. In fact, it probably has already started. And that'll probably, that's probably why the IWM is about to break out. That's why we're seeing every junk stock, like the meme stocks, run. Carvana up 200%. So we're getting into euphoria territory, and I don't think we're quite there yet, but we're getting to blow off mode. Now, we did close above that trend line here on the Spider today, so the one we've been talking about, and we'll see. Maybe it grinds up with that trend line for a little while. We'll have to watch the VIX. Again, it's still kind of hovering. It still hasn't made a new low. But when it gets down there, we'll probably take another shot at it. But yeah, just crazy action today. We also have the elections going on, so that's something the market's probably going to pay attention to. But obviously, all the eyes are on the Fed tomorrow. Let's just quick scan through. I want to talk about the dollar. So again, the dollar continues to be strong, and it's just kind of diverging from reality. So we check this every day, but the weekly pattern here on the dollar is bullish. It's threatening a breakout. That is contrary to what we're seeing in the equity markets. So there's definitely a divergence there. So let's take a look at gold also. Gold's kind of just holding up, really probably just waiting on the Fed. I'm looking to, again, I keep talking about it, I'm looking to get into silver here, but I think it needs to get a little bit lower. It needs to do a little bit more vacuum filling. And I don't want to jump ahead of this, ahead of the Fed meeting, because there's just, it's hard to say what they're going to do. But platinum did have a nice pop yesterday. I forgot to talk about that, but came right off that trend line. Nice little pop there in platinum. Palladium also kind of getting a pop, but still kind of in this little flaggish range there. And copper also kind of just stalling out here. The weekly pattern is still good, though. It's still holding that green bar. Let's take a look at Bitcoin also, because this is important in terms of risk off. So Bitcoin shaping up a lot better than it was yesterday. We talked about how it looked a little weak coming off that 20 MA, and it's definitely pushing a little bit higher off of that. Obviously, probably needs to chop a little bit before it gets through 67.5 if it's going to do that. But if we go into a full blow off mode, this will probably moonshot. Just so everybody's aware, and everything will. The IWM, I think KRE is a potential candidate for something to look to long here. The regional banks make up a lot of the IWM, so if yields continue to rise and that becomes the trade, the financial stocks will probably do well. So, that could just, throwing out some ideas there. Really quick, I'll talk about EPD for Tiger. So I think you were looking at, I think you got out of it and looking at a buy area. So this one's tough. I think this one wants to go down to probably 19 bucks, maybe 20. So you got like this pivot here and this breakout. And then you have this back test here. So right in that area, I don't know if these pivots hold if you get down there a third time. Now it is a little oversold, especially if it continues selling into that area. So it could hold up, but it's tough, it's tough with this market right now. We're getting into euphoria here, and if this doesn't participate in that, and then the market rolls over, this one's going to be a weaker name. And then EPS also. So this one's basically just kind of following the S&P. It's large cap ETF essentially. So I mean, you can more or less refer to, the spiders analysis as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I think that's really all I wanted to cover. I don't have too much to cover here. We did have the semis did potentially break out today. And so that is why I think that this market has got some strength into it. It's going to have some upside soon. If they can confirm that breakout, then it's good for the market overall. Just the semis performing well is good in general. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Yeah, I think we just have to get up to that upper trend line on the Nasdaq. I put that video out obviously for patrons, and you guys know what I'm looking at there. But Nasdaq is still the laggard though, believe it or not. But that's what we're looking at there. Yields pulled back a little bit today, and the IWM still finished positive. But yeah, I still think that 1.4 area is going to be interesting to watch here. But again, the Fed meeting is going to change everything, so we'll just have to see what happens there. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll answer them for you. We'll get into that. Otherwise, yeah, just a wild day altogether. Crude pulled back a little bit, down 1%. Nothing crazy. I had a great day, Isaac. Yeah, thank you. CGC, okay. Yeah, canopies, it's a tough one. This it came off the lows nicely. This could be, if the meme stocks continue to run, pot stocks could be a good area here to be in. Tilray's holding that green bar. Got a nice pop yesterday. I think Aurora is the best one, honestly, right now. It's just holding up the best. I do own this still. It's more of, I guess, kind of a longer term play for me. But again, if it does one of these things, I'm not going to just say no to gains. But CGC is fine. I would just continue to hold it, and if it goes lower, you can average into it. I mean, look at how much of a discount this is at right now. But yeah, the pot stocks can feed off of that meme stock craze. They could be potentially, I'm not saying they will, but they could potentially benefit from that if we get some type of sector rotation or sympathy play in that regard. Let's take a look. BTU. Oh, Peabody. That's right. Let's see. It's taken quite a hit here. Yeah, it's got a lot of support around 10 bucks. Yeah, I'll say that much. It's got a lot of support around 10 bucks. Maybe it gets down to 950, but that's a lot. So you see this bearish pattern here. You broke down and then you got back above that, and look at this power bar here on volume. And then they tried to keep it back down and they couldn't. 10 bucks is where all the institutional money is sitting, right around there. And KOL. I don't know what this ETF tracks. It looks really thin. Liquidity index or something like that. Just says ETF Trust LIQ. It is into a little bit of resistance, I could say that on the weekly. You did come into that 100 MA. This is kind of where you broke down, so it might need to consolidate if it's going to make a move higher. But this one's really thin. It's hard to... Looks like it goes a few days without even trading. Yeah. Coal. Give me 1 second. I think I can get Newcastle coal futures here on TradingView. Yeah. 1 second, guys. Oops. There we go. Is this it? I don't know. I don't really track coal futures very often. I can't tell if this is actually the... Or coal India. Is this one better? All right. I'll try and check. Send me a DM or something. Maybe I'll look at it later. Let's look at SLV. It's 21.75. Yeah, you probably have some support there. You got the 50 MA. That's 21.64. You got this gap fill, 21.50. I like it a little bit better. I'd like it at this 618 a little bit better. Maybe 21.50. But yeah, I mean, it's got support in this area. Let's look at wrap. Yeah, they got a nice pop there. It's been pretty oversold here. Hard to say with this one. Let's see. Yeah, you kind of went right into that breakout. Yeah, that's not a bad support area. Yeah, so it might have some upside there. Might need to consolidate a little bit, but yeah, that could potentially have some upside in it. YGT. All right, Gold Terra. So this one's thin, really thin. Man, this thing's just getting beat up, huh? This is tough. I mean, like, it's gonna, you know, if the price of gold breaks out, this is probably gonna benefit from that, but this is so thin. I'm guessing this is kind of like a spec name. And it's tough with these like micro junior, these small junior miners. It only trades 55,000 shares a day. Oh, sorry, 200,000 shares a day. But yeah, it's tough to do analysis on these thin stocks. I mean, I guess best I can say is you have this gap fill that you filled, but it didn't really. I mean, it already kind of bounced there, so I mean, it might want to go lower. But these juniors are tough. You know, they kind of just they're really news driven essentially. Yeah, Blackstone. Yeah, Nvidia. W Day. I want to short Tesla, but it's I need to get some type of sell signal on it, but it's well, we'll see. We'll see about this one. But yeah, W Day is it's overbought. Yeah, it's not really that extent. I mean, look at all this consolidation you did though. It's short-term overbought. I don't really see anything too wrong with it though. But yeah, I mean, there's worse charts out there, basically. I'll put it that way. Blackstone. Let's take a look at Blackstone again. Yeah, it's getting really stretched. Yeah, these financial. Look at that. That was a nice setup there on the weekly. But yeah, this thing can still go higher. So there's a lot of things out there. Let's chug. Yeah, this one got pounded. I'm guessing they reported earnings. Wow. I mean, you're into support right now. Like you crashed through support. This was your support here at about 42 bucks. Yeah, 45, 42. This thing's I would take a stab at it on a Pierce of 30 maybe. Let's see. Hold on. It's probably going to want to get through 30. See how whenever there's a ton of volume, and there's a ton of volume on this, you want to like let it push slower than it normally would. Yeah, I would you could take a stab at it at 30 bucks with a small position. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Just make your stop as a close below 25. Maybe, and then maybe you could even scale into it. Pick up a small position at a 29 in 29.85 or something, and if it goes lower, you could pick it up at 25 and kind of scale in that way. But yeah, that thing's gotten absolutely destroyed. What happened here? Just earnings? Let's see. Yeah, just earnings. Okay, well, I guess they gave all of their market share to Avis. Forgot. Oh yeah, Nvidia. Yeah, so Nvidia is also a pig too. So yeah, I mean, look at the monthly. It's I think it's got a little bit more upside in it though. I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, about 3 days. About 3 days. Yeah, that's generally what you do. Like with Intel, it took a couple days for it to wash out. About 3 days. That's where you want to. You give it at least 3 days usually after a beat down like that. Yeah, because there's going to be margin selling and stuff like that. It's just supersedes fundamentals. It's just kind of what has to happen in order to shake it out. Yeah, there's just kind of a bit of a transition that has to happen. Look what these assholes did too. Look, they pumped it on volume yesterday, right before they dumped it out. That's hilarious. We have to wonder if that was just a little bit of hedging or short covering or something like that. But that's jeez. So yeah, Aurora on the 9th. I will hold Aurora into earnings. Because this is a longer term. So normally I don't hold swings in earnings. I'm not really looking at this as a swing. Part of the reason why I want to own it is because of earnings specifically, because it, like you guys know, these stocks love to run into earnings. Mainly because they're so heavily shorted. So that could help out CGC, which is, been beaten down a little bit. Tilray is still holding this green bar here. This nice green bar on Tilray. But what I really like about Aurora right now, you see this, it's got an inside bar here on the monthly time frame, and it's been consolidating for a whole year. So maybe it's nothing. Maybe it goes from let's see. Yeah, maybe it has another $6 pop into it. I don't know. But that's what that inside bar would suggest. And we're coming up on a year from that last pop. In fact, that was November 9th right there. So that's when they report earnings this year. So now you see what I was looking at when I entered this thing. But yeah, I'll hold it into earnings because I don't really care if it, you know, if it dumps out a little bit because it's more of a longer term hold. But yeah, these pot stocks are getting interesting right now. Oh, also, by the way, we talked about elections earlier today. That's why I picked up Aurora last year, is because of the election. Because a Democrat sweep would be very bullish for pot stocks. And look at what happened when we had the election last year. So we've got elections going on now, and very surprised there wasn't more hedging going on into that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I definitely like Aurora here. So let's look at Foot Locker. All right, so you came down, hit support here. Oh yeah, you hit that 200. That would have been a nice pickup there. I don't know if you can do much with it now, but that would have been your area to buy. So you got the 200 moving average. See this here? That's where you broke out of right there. So you retested that. That would have been your buy area, 45 bucks, 46 bucks. But right now, the problem is you're kind of inside bar here. So unless it can close above 50 bucks, you're still inside of this red candle. And if it continues to chop, that's telling you that it wants to go lower. It wants to take out this previous breakout area. It would probably get down to about 42 if it did that. Pow. All right. 16% float. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, it trades enough volume. Yeah, this could be a name. You did make a lower low. You're now making a higher low. I don't like those red bars there. I would keep this one on the radar. But I don't have anything that's telling me to buy it just yet. But I would keep that on the radar. It's possible. It could get a pop. Speaking of this one, Wish, this is a stock that everybody's trying to short squeeze. This one did get a nice little lift, and if this continues making higher lows, this one could be interesting too. So keep that one on the radar also. And, you know, normally I don't like to, you know, like I think the whole meme stock thing is ridiculous, and it makes a mockery of the market, but this is the market we're in. And if these are the opportunities that it's going to give us, I'm going to take them. BlackBerry, you know, if some of you guys are still holding GME, congrats, you're in the money now. You know, I stopped out a while ago on this. I said if you have the little bit of risk appetite for it, you can hold it as long as it doesn't close below 165.15, which it never did. It can still run. And look at it now. It's popping back up. I think our original entry was like 198 or 199. So you'd still be in the money, and I think it still has upside to 220, 225, maybe 230. And then if they really get a hold of it, you know, it could pop up to 260 and, you know, maybe to 300 if it really gets juiced. But kind of made these these three lower highs. I don't really like that. But it could still get up to 220, 225 easily. So AMC too. I mean, I don't like that you lost this green bar here, but you're holding this one. You got a higher low. So, I mean, you know, maybe AMC gets back up to 45, you know. But it's going to have sellers between 45 and 50, I can tell you that. But, you know, this is the market we're in right now. I didn't want to take a stop out on Clove, but it lost that. It lost this green bar. What are you going to do? And, you know, October was a sucky month for us, but hopefully we're paying it back pretty nicely now. November's shaping up really good already. So, but yeah, this is the market we're in, and you just got to take what the market gives you. And so what my strategy is, just keep the position size small. If you want to do something like TIGR or BlackBerry or Wish, POW, just keep your position size small and don't over risk yourself, and you'll be fine. They actually, I think AMC was one of the names that they banned on the TD Ameritrade just did this. I don't think anybody else did it yet, but they banned short selling of it, which is ridiculous because when these stocks start to sell off, there's going to be no support now. And when you take short sellers out of the market, it's like they just don't understand, These guys are brokers. They should know how markets work, you'd think. But, when this starts coming in, there's going to be no support because there's going to be no shorts to cover. I mean, it's just common sense. I mean, not enabling short selling is just as bad as not letting people, open longs like what Robinhood was doing in January to GameStop. You're putting entities in the market and removing entities from the market that are supposed to be there. And that's how you get distortions. So, and another way of saying that is the Federal Reserve is a giant distortion, and that's how you get, crap like this. I am so, maybe I'll stream tomorrow. I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow, so I might stream the FOMC tomorrow. So if you guys want to get in on that, I think it's at 2 o'clock. Usually is. So maybe I'll do a live in-market stream, and we'll watch the Fed response. I want to hear what they have to say about this. I mean, this is just, it's like they had to do this the day before the Fed meeting, right? And they're expected to announce some type of tapering timeline tomorrow. So this is going to be interesting. I mean, like, how are they going to deflect this? I don't know. Crazy markets, guys. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, if anybody else has any more questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, we'll get going here. We'll save our energy for tomorrow. I'll probably try and do a stream sometime during the market hours, just for that. But we do have some earnings tomorrow too. Roku reports. I think a few other notable companies report. Zillow got hit a little bit here, down 10% and down $7 after hours. So that's down all the way down to the 80 handle now after hours. Amgen down a little bit after hours here, but did get a pop today. Look at this alert I had for myself here. Now this isn't a buy or anything. This is just a alert to tell me that it hit this level. It got 3 cents away from it. $200.47. I had an alert for 244 because I've been looking to get this thing long at the right level, but it got so close. But yeah, that one got away from me. But yeah, this one down a little bit after hours here. The car PE ratio is 70. Yeah, that's, and that's why I was like, yeah, I'll short. I don't care if I'm 45% out of the money. Like, it doesn't even matter. It's just this is a function of the market. It's not going to stay up here. It didn't all of a sudden become whatever it is, $35 billion company, however big the market cap got. Oh, let me check. See what happened to their market cap today. I know it was like 32 billion, but that was at like 11 a.m. So it's probably a lot different now. So it's only 23.8 billion right now. 66.5 million outstanding. Times, what did it get up to? 550. Yeah, so it was a $37 billion company for all of about 15 seconds. And now it's a $23.8 billion company. Yeah. When I decided to short, yeah, so I kind of covered this in the beginning, but basically I've been wanting to short it. Whoops. I've had this on my radar for a while, and it's hard to see because it's so skewed. But if you go back here, if we just erase today's action. So I've been watching this fib here, and I've used this fib extension on, oh, that's right. I've used it on lumber before. I don't have the exact, I don't remember where this is. Hold on. Oh, yeah, there you go. So this is how I called the top in lumber earlier this year. There's a fib extension. That this is one of the reasons that went into me calling the top in lumber. Moderna, fib extension, 1618. Dick's Sporting Goods, 1618. I think Crocs had one too. I can't remember. I'll have to double check. Well, actually, let's just do it right here. Yeah, there you go. 100% on Crocs. So Crocs had one too. So these fib extensions have worked for me really well. I haven't taken any of these trades. I wanted to, but now that I saw enough cases where they've worked, I was like, okay, well, if Carvana gets up to 1618, I'll short it. And it did that today. How do you draw it? It's called a fib extension. So on Thinkorswim, it's right here. And basically you're just going to go from, you're going to pick a low point to a high point. Let's pull up Crocs so you can see a little bit better. So I'm picking the March 2020 low because that's the most extreme low on the chart, right? And then you go to your next major pivot. And the reason I'm choosing this pivot here is because this is really the one where it kind of stalled out. Like you had this little pivot here, you had this little pivot here, but this is the high pivot where it actually stalled out for a few weeks. It got up to this 84, 85 handle, and then it kind of stalled out. So the same thing with Carvana. This was your March low. And then this was your major pivot. You know, you had a pivot here, you kind of had one here, you kind of stalled out. But this was the big one where you actually had a big pullback. So I'm using the next extension off of that, you know, the extreme low to the extreme high, essentially. I hope that makes sense. And then I said, well, okay, so once it gets to 1618, I'll pull a trigger on a short. I didn't know it was going to get there that fast. Like, that's why I, you know, that's why I scaled in. I was going to scale in no matter what, but that was like, this was not supposed to be a day trade. I was not intending, so I apologize if it was kind of like fast and like not what people are used to, but I had no idea it was going to actually do this today. I just saw it get up to my level and I was like, oh, this is euphoria. And I pulled the trigger on it. And then I just said, okay, I'll add it the next 618. There you go. And then I'll add it the 25, the 425. And I wish I had gotten it up at 550. That would have been monster. I was looking to get into it, but when I say it was halted, and then it would halt for about 7-8 minutes, and they would trade for about 7-8 seconds, and then they would halt it again. So it was very hard to get an order through. But I got it. I got to add on the way down. I got it in at like 468 or something. I like doubled my position to 5%. I got a nice little gain out of it. But yeah, that's how you use that. Now, it's hard. You want to combine it with other factors, but it's hard when stuff's at all-time highs. What the only thing you can do is use a measured move or use a fib extension. And I just saw this fib extension work a couple of times, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot at it because it's worked several times now, and what I got to lose? Put 1%. No, I don't have any. I was just shorting common shares. Because the premiums on these options were absolutely insane. I don't even want to look at them. I bet they're like probably, like if you just go to December, let's say, yeah, look at this, like $70, $73 premium for a 350 call. I mean, like, what the hell? But no, I was not playing options with this. I was just doing common shares. I did hold, whoops, I was holding just a runner position on it for like an hour, but then I was like, I forget, I'm just gonna cut it because I just didn't want to have to look at it anymore, honestly. But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice trade. Just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It's not hard to get a margin account. You just apply for one. They should probably give it to you. You get then you can get 2 to 1, and you get and you can short things. But yeah, otherwise you can play with puts. The only problem with like I don't like being forced to play with options. You know, I'll play with options if I want to, but I don't want to trade options in lieu of shorting essentially, because then I'm forcing myself to take on risk that I don't really want to take on. But if I, you know, if I want to play an option, I'll play an option. But if I want to just short the stock, I'll short the stock. All right, guys, I'm going to get going though. Thank you guys for coming out. We'll see if Carvana ends green tomorrow. My guess it probably gets back down to 250 at some point. And then maybe gets a bounce, but we'll see what happens there. And obviously we'll see what the Fed says and how they're going to explain this BS. Futures are up a little bit here into the 5 o'clock hour, so they'll reopen at 6 o'clock. But in any case, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll try and get a stream done during the Fed decision. So stay tuned for that. If you can make it, that'd be great. Anyways, guys, take care. I will talk to you later.